All right, guys, I got a question for you today. Ooh, that is nice sunshine there. All right, so my question is, do you have any friends who have different views than you? Or do you live in an echo chamber? What's your answer? Do you have any friends with differing views? Or do you live in an echo chamber? All right, what does that word mean, echo chamber? Do you know what it means? Smash like if you don't know what it means, because I am about to teach you, right? So you often hear this word, you know, in maybe discussions about politics or about just ideology, you know, society. You might hear this word online. People might post it on Twitter or on, I don't know, they might talk about it on YouTube. If you're following different YouTubers who talk about current events or about politics or about society, okay, you'll hear this word, echo chamber. Okay, so what does it mean? Well, the word chamber, what does that mean? Chamber means room. Okay, you know, another word for a room is a chamber. You know, there might be, now it's kind of an old-fashioned way to say bedroom. Okay, so if you go into your chamber, if you're watching an old movie with like kings and knights and stuff like that, they might talk about going into their chamber. That means their bedroom. Okay, but chamber just means kind of a room. So these days we don't really use this word very much. It's more maybe used in like a city council building. Like imagine some city building with the government, you know, like some government building, and in that building there's a big room. There might be a big room with a lot of chairs, probably nice fancy chairs, and maybe a big table or something. Okay, and they might call that room a chamber. Okay, but most of the time we don't really use this word that much. Okay, but in this term, echo chamber, it's used. Okay, so what does echo mean? Well, echo means when your voice bounces off the different walls in a room or something. Like imagine if you're in a canyon. Okay, picture yourself in a canyon and you shout, "Hello!" And then you hear again, the sound bounces off that wall of the canyon and it comes back at you, right? Hello, 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 hello. Or it's bouncing around. The sound of your voice is echoing off the walls of the canyon. Okay, or you know, if you're in an empty room and you talk, you can hear your voice echoing off the walls, right? Especially if the room has like a hard floor. You know, nothing on the walls, no furniture in the you know, guys, I see a rock out in the middle of the canal there. I wonder if someone threw a rock on the ice over there. Or do rocks just grow out of the ice? I'm not sure, guys. So that's what echo means, okay? Echo, chamber. So what is an echo chamber? Think about what would it mean? Well, literally, it would mean a room where sound echoes. Maybe you want to you know, it's kind of a sound effect in music sometimes. People have like that echoey sound, so you might want to record some music in an echo chamber, right? Where you have that natural kind of echoey sound, right? But literally, this word doesn't really have any literal meaning. We don't use this term echo chamber in a literal way. It's figurative. Okay, figurative means it's not literal. Okay, we're not talking about a real room with echoing sounds. We're using this term figuratively to mean something about, you know, people or society. Okay, so like I'll use it in a sentence. My friend lives in an echo chamber. What would that sentence mean? My friend lives in an echo chamber. Okay, what that means is that all her friends, everybody she talks to, everybody she associates with, believes the same thing. So she says, I hate that politician. And then all her friends say, yeah, I hate that politician. Politician's such an idiot. Right? All her friends agree with her. Right? It's like hearing your own voice coming back at you. Right? Like if you're in a canyon and you say hello, and then you hear hello, hello, hello. You hear like many voices, but in fact it's just one voice. It's your voice. Right? So if you live in an echo chamber, it means everybody agrees with you because like you only hear what you want to hear. You only associate with people. Associate means you only interact with people like as your friends or whatever. You only associate with people who believe the same thing as you. Okay, you don't have any friends with other beliefs. Okay, why? Because it's more comfortable. You know, people like being around people who agree with them, right? Sometimes if there's like political differences, that can get a bit dicey, you know. Dicey it means it's just a bit dicey. It can get a little bit turbulent. Is that the word I'm looking for? Guys, sometimes I don't even know how to define words. Let me just look up the definition of dicey here. I'm just gonna look it up here, guys. Dicey on Google. Unpredictable, potentially dangerous. Yeah, you know, it's a, you know, we could talk about a situation. If a situation is dicey, it's kind of unpredictable. It's dangerous. It can produce conflict, right? So if you're, let's say you are at a Christmas gathering with your family, and your family has different political views, if you start talking about politics, it could lead to kind of a dicey situation, right? Because Christmas is supposed to be a time where everybody kind of just comes together and is like, just, I don't know, has a nice time together. Not like fight, not a fight, not a conflict, right? So yeah, hopefully your Christmas gathering wasn't dicey. But yeah, so people usually avoid people who have different views than them, right? That's why I asked you, do you have any friends who have different views? Or do you live in an echo chamber? Okay, if you have friends who have different political views, or maybe different religious views, or different any kind of views, then you don't live in an echo chamber. Okay, so for me, I do not live in an echo chamber because I have friends who love Donald Trump and friends who hate Donald Trump, right? It was funny when I was back in, was it 2016? When Donald Trump won the election. It was funny because I went to an election party with a few of my friends, and all the people in the room hated Donald Trump. They just hated him. And I said, my prediction was that Donald Trump would win the election. And all those people, they just hated him. And when Donald Trump actually won, like when the numbers started coming in, when the results started coming in, and it was clear that Donald Trump was doing better than expected, the people in the room were just like, just bewildered. They were bewildered. That means like just astonished, like, what? They were really distraught. Distraught means they were like very sad, very like, just like, how can this happen? How did this happen? They just couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it. Why? Because those people all lived in an echo chamber. I wasn't really their friends with most of the people. I was just kind of an acquaintance. So, but you know, those people, they lived in an echo chamber, so they all hated Donald Trump. So whenever they would talk about Trump, they would just be with people. I mean, their friends would say, oh yeah, I hate Donald Trump. He's never going to win. He's an idiot. He's a whatever, you know. And so every one of their friends in their group believed the exact same thing that they did. So it's like when you say something, your voice just echoes off the walls of the room, right? You can just hear your own opinion again and again. And that's what people love, right? People love to say something about politics or religion or anything like that, and they love it when the other person agrees with them. Oh yeah, you're right about that. And then they talk for a while about how they hate that politician or how they love that politician, and then, oh, it was nice talking to you, and then they keep going on their day, right? Most people like living in an echo chamber. It's challenging to have friends, you know, who have different views than you. Like for me, I listen to a lot of different opinions. So like for the news, like when I watch the news or go on websites, right, I don't just look at BBC News or, you know, CNN or Fox News or whatever. I look at different news sources to try to identify maybe what's going on. Okay. So on a daily basis, I look at news from different countries. I don't just trust I hate BBC News, guys. It's a bunch of lies. Here in Canada, we have something called CBC. It's just a load of lies. All right. So I never look at CBC News, but there's just different news. I try to get a balanced perspective, right? And so I like to listen also to YouTubers who disagree with me, because it gives me kind of like a balanced perspective, or it challenges my thinking, right? Have you ever been watching a YouTube video and the person in the video says something you don't like and then you just shut it off? I'm done with that. I've done that before. But the thing is that it's important that we don't live in echo chambers, because even though it's more comfortable to live in an echo chamber, you know, it's you know, it's richer. You have like a richer experience in life if you have different, if you have access to different views. Okay, so one example of this is so in our news, there's nothing good said about China, right? I mean, I can't remember the last time BBC News said anything good about China, or, you know, any of our Western news outlets. They never say anything good about China. But I lived in China for over a year, and so I can kind of make my own opinions about what I hear on the news. I know when something is just a blatant lie. Blatant means a clear lie, a blatant lie, or if something has some truth to it, right? Because I lived over there, and it's really important to have friends from different backgrounds. I think it's really good because it gives you a chance to kind of step out of your echo chamber. All right, so I have friends. I would say I have, I don't know, I at least I know people who have from every different religion, probably from different nationalities, like Chinese, Indian, you know, Brazilian, just you know, different people with different ideas, different views, and it's kind of, I like it. I like to be able to talk with.
You're fine, Violet.
The dog growling behind me, guys. Isn't this nice? Sun's coming off the frozen water here. The ice. I don't know why I called it frozen water. We have a name for frozen water. That word is ice. So the sun is kind of reflecting beautifully off the ice there. So man, a lot of dogs, a lot of people walking their dogs today. So guys, let me know, do you live in an echo chamber? Do you have any friends who live in echo chambers? Like, a lot of the people that I've met here in Canada do live in echo chambers. They don't know anybody from other backgrounds. Like, they don't know, you know, they don't associate with people from other groups, right? That's why sometimes I like to go into different, like, restaurants, for example. I go to like an Indian restaurant or a Chinese restaurant or Vietnamese. It just gives me a little bit of interaction with someone who's not maybe in my echo chamber. Because sometimes we think we think we don't live in an echo chamber, but really we do, right? So it's important not to deceive ourselves, and so it's good to step out a bit, maybe go try to travel. Actually, traveling, I'd say, guys, is the best education a person can have. Traveling, and I've been really fortunate. I've been to maybe 25 countries in my life, and in those experiences I can see how people live. I can see what they believe. I really like asking people what their opinion is about a certain thing. I don't just like to assume, because I've been wrong about you know, I've been wrong about things, and sometimes I'm right about things, right? So it's better not to assume that you know what people in that country believe or what they think or what they, you know, even just recently, in recent months, I would say, I've become more aware of the differences in the Middle Eastern countries, the deep divide that exists politically or ideologically between the different countries, right? You know, what do you have? You have Qatar, Bahrain, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Iran, Iraq, Turkey, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, you know, Egypt. You have all these different countries, and I've become more aware these days of where the lines kind of are drawn, that, you know, the whole Middle East. Guys, why can't people just keep their dogs quiet? Can people keep their dogs quiet? Maybe that's not possible. Maybe that's an impossible task. Literally everyone and their dog is out here today. Like, I've seen just in my, I can see like 4 dogs over there. Like, literally 4 dogs over there. People walking past me. Everybody has a dog. Maybe I should get a dog, guys. What do you think about that? All these people probably live in an echo chamber. They just want to be like everybody else, right? One person has a dog, then everybody buys a dog, right? That's why, you know, it's actually hard to be a leader. It's hard to be like, it's hard to be someone who goes against the current, right? Imagine a stream or a river. The current means the flow of the water, right? The water is flowing this way, and if you go upstream, if you were going against the current, it's hard to swim against the current. Let's say all your friends hate Donald Trump, and you say, I like him. Or the other way around. You know, if all your friends hate Joe Biden, and you say, I kind of like him. I don't think there'd be any of those people. He's a complete tool. But tool tool means a completely useless person. All right, Joe Biden is a tool. That means he is completely useless. A useless human being. Right? So anyway, let me know, guys, do you live in an echo chamber? Or are you willing to kind of like go against the current a little bit sometimes? I like to do that sometimes. Challenge the narrative. The narrative is whatever whatever everybody's believing at the time. That's what people call the narrative, right? I like to challenge the narrative sometimes. I'm not afraid of ruffling some feathers. If you ruffle some feathers, that means you stir the pot a bit. If you stir the pot a bit, it means you ruffle feathers. I just used circular reasoning. Circular, if something is circular, it means it goes in a circle. Right? So I said to ruffle feathers means to stir the pot, and to stir the pot means to ruffle feathers. If you don't know what either of those idioms mean, then you're in the dark, right? In the dark means you don't know something. Okay, so guys, why are there so many dogs out here today? Like, I have not seen a single person without a dog. Every one of them has a dog. That's crazy. Okay, so guys, what do these two idioms mean? Ruffle feathers. That means you kind of make a calm situation a little bit tense or uncomfortable. Like, let's say you go to a family gathering, and you know all the people at the gathering hate Joe Biden, and you say, I think he's a good leader. I think he's a good president. Right? Then ooh, then you're ruffling some feathers. Right? Ruffling feathers means to make things a bit dicey, right? Now what about stir the pot? If you stir the pot, that means you make kind of a calm situation maybe more volatile. You make more uncomfortable, right? It's the same meaning. Like if you go to the family gathering and all your relatives, let's say they hate Donald Trump, and you say, I like him, then you're stirring the pot, right? Everything was nice and calm, and then you came to the Christmas party and you just ruined it. You ruined the whole Christmas party. You made people, they get so angry, right? Because people get so angry about politics. Even I get angry about politics, guys. So that's what it means to stir the pot and to ruffle the feathers. So anyway, guys, let me know, do you live in an echo chamber, or do you like to surround yourself with people who challenge your thinking and who have different ideas? I actually like to surround myself with people who have different ideas, but maybe I don't even do it enough. We tend to get really comfortable in life, right? With our own belief, our own opinions. Guys, I don't know, let me know if you disagree with me. Maybe we should be friends, right? Because it's just too comfortable. I'm too comfortable these days, guys. I need some people to challenge my thinking, because I'm wrong about many things, you know. I don't know. Anyway, that's enough of my yapping away. So just give you a nice shot of the water here. It's funny because that's not frozen there, where all the ducks and the geese are. That's not frozen, but all this stuff is frozen here. And there's the nice sunset. Man, it's like not even it's 4 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock, and look where the sun is, guys. But the good news is that the days are getting longer now, so I'm happy about that. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for sticking with me, for tuning in to this episode of Mad English TV. I can see someone spying on me from that house there. Bet he lives in an echo chamber. And guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments about all these things, and hope you're doing great today. Hope you're staying healthy, happy, and safe as always. I love you guys so much, and as always, I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.